Rockies trying to avoid a sweep at the hand of the Milwaukee Brewers here on a Sunday afternoon. Rockies now 14-12, Brewers 16-11, so they are certainly in good position, are the Brewers, to continue their reign atop the National League Central so far in 2020. John Gray will be tasked with avoiding the sweep. He's 2-3 on the year. This is his sixth start, a 5.33 ERA, 25 and a third innings pitched, 19 strikeouts, 9 walks, 29 hits, makes for a 150 whip. Gray looking to go deep into a game and also to hopefully be able to figure things out for the majority of the game. Lorenzo Cain's going to lead things off. It's been a few rough outings for John Gray. Different lineup all 3 games of the series for the Brewers. First pitch to Cain is swung on and popped in the air towards center field. Dahl is on the run. He'll camp under it and make the catch. That's 1 pitch, 1 out. Good start for John Gray. Let's take a look at the rest of the lineup for the Brewers. Batting second at shortstop, Brock Holt. Batting third, the right fielder, Christian Yelich. Batting cleanup, the second baseman, Keston Hiura. Batting fifth, the catcher, Omar Narvaez. Batting sixth in left field, Avisail Garcia. Batting seventh at first base, Justin Smoke. Batting eighth, the third baseman today is Orlando Arcia. Then Adrian Hauser is your starting pitcher, batting ninth. Brock Holt playing shortstop today, takes first pitch strike on the outside corner. Day off yesterday for Holt. Played third base in the first game of the series. He's at short today. Orlando Arcia played short the first 2 games of the series. He's going to be at third base today. Ground ball to second base. McMahon throws to first. That's out number 2. A couple of quick outs here in the first for John Gray. Christian Yelich will be the batter. He pinch hit. Got a hit in yesterday's ball game after homering and also getting another hit in the first game of this series. .391 average on the year for Yelich. First pitch from Gray to him is taken for a strike. Yelich, good numbers in his career against Gray, 7 for 19 with a home run. .368 batting average, that is. Very similar numbers against quite a few pitchers for Yelich. Gray's not alone. There's a strike on the outside corner. Quickly 0-2. Gray pouring in strikes early on in this one. Gray into his motion, the windup and the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted in the air to center. This one is crushed, and that ball is gone. Christian Yelich to straightaway center field. And it was looking like a quick inning for John Gray, but Yelich puts the Brewers on the board first. They lead at 1-0 now. 9th home run of the year for Yelich, 444 feet off the bat, and a 99.2 mile per hour exit velocity. Let's take a look at this one again. There was little doubt about this one. Make that 2 home runs now in the career of Christian Yelich versus John Gray. And that'll bring up Keston Hiura. He's hitting .242 on the year. First pitch from Gray is taken for a strike. And once again, the Rockies will be playing down early on in a series against the Milwaukee Brewers. 0-1 pitch is going to miss low.
1-1.
Right now, Rockies are in second place in the division. Dodgers are in first. It's going to be high and tight. Hitters count now on Keston Hiura. 2-1 pitch from Gray is swung on and chopped foul down the first base line. Two-two pitch, swung on and chopped weakly towards short. This will be a rangy play for Story, and he makes it, and that will retire the side. Christian Yelich with a solo home run puts Milwaukee on the board first. It's 1-0 Brewers going to the bottom of the first inning. Adrian Hauser getting the start, his 6th start of the year for the Brewers today. 0-1 on the year, 4.37 ERA, 22 2/3 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts, but his Achilles heel has been the walks. He's walked 14 batters, 22 hits allowed, and a 159 whip for him. Rockies will try to prevent him from getting his first win of the season today. David Dahl leads things off. He has a .255 batting average, .325 on base percentage, home run 5 driven in. Ranks 4th on the Rockies in terms of average, and he's really gotten that average up from what it was just a couple weeks ago. First pitch, swing and a miss. Arenado, Murphy, Blackman, then Dahl is how your batting average looks in terms of the ranks for the Rockies. Rockies were swept in a 2-game set at Coors Field on the last homestand, actually a couple homestands ago against the Rangers, trying to avoid a 3-game sweep today. 2 misfortunes, sure, but 3 misfortunes. I'd like to see that. 1-1 pitch coming from Hauser to Dahl, and that's taken inside. Hitters count now on David Dahl. That swung on and lifted in the air towards left field. Over and making the catches of Isael Garcia. That is out number 1. Rest of the starting lineup for the Rockies. In right field, Charlie Blackman batting 3rd. The shortstop, Trevor Story, batting cleanup. The 3rd baseman, Nolan Arenado, batting 5th at first base. Daniel Murphy batting 6th at second base. Ryan McMahon batting 7th. The left fielder, Ian Desmond, batting 8th. Behind the plate is Tony Walters and John Gray batting 9th, your starting pitcher. Charlie Blackman hitting .269 on the year. First pitch from Hauser is swung on and pulled foul. Blackman's .269 average, as we mentioned, 3rd on the Rockies. 3 home runs, 10 driven in, and .803 OPS. So even though the average is not quite where we expect it to be from Charlie Blackman in terms of OPS, he's doing just fine. Homered yesterday. Swings and grounds one towards third base. Orlando Arcia over there playing in the shift. That's out number 2. And that will leave it up to Trevor Story. Well, here's a question for you. So, in terms of not simulated baseball, real baseball, what's going to happen if you are a Rockies season ticket holder? Kyle Newman of the Denver Post published an article a handful of days ago now. Because those with season tickets don't know what's going to happen with the full or partial deposits they've made. The Rockies have offered no official comment on season ticket refunds, but they did issue a statement to season ticket holders in an email on April 17. The email said, "Well, we are working on our ticketing policies with Major League Baseball. Please be assured that you will not lose any payments you have already made for the 2020 season, and please hold on to all of your tickets." No games have been officially canceled yet with the season postponed. And there's been several ideas going on, especially about playing in specific states. Most chiefly, Arizona has been mentioned. One Rockies fan that Newman interviewed, Tim Rogers of Arvada, was very understanding about the situation. Others not so much, because in New York, there's a couple of fans suing Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred and all 30 teams with the lawsuit. We'll pick it up after this 3-2 pitch to Story. Strike 3 called, got him on strikes, and that'll retire the side. We go to the second inning. We'll talk about that lawsuit from a couple of fans in New York when we return. Adrian Hauser has a good-looking first inning. Omar Narvaez leads off here in the second inning. Got the day off in the first game of the series. Got in there yesterday. .277 home run, 12 driven in. 12 driven in ranks 5th on the Milwaukee Brewers. Yelich is leading the pack. First pitch from Gray here is taken low.
Ball. 1 ball, no strike.
Gray into his motion, the windup, and the 1-0 pitch is going to miss outside 2-0.
Ball.
96-mile-an-hour fastball outside the zone. Here comes a 2-0 delivery. And that's going to miss down and in. 3 balls and no strikes of Isael Garcia waiting on deck. So in that lawsuit from a couple of New York fans suing Major League Baseball, 30 teams and Rob Manfred, their lawsuit says baseball fans are stuck with expensive and unusable tickets for unplayable games in the midst of an economic crisis. But Kyle Newman did speak to quite a few Rockies fans. Bill Stahl, who is an original season ticket holder from Wheat Ridge, said he's also understanding of the situation as well. There's ball 4 and a leadoff walk here in the second inning to Omar Narvaez. It'll bring up Avisail Garcia.
Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 24, Avisail Garcia.
Newman interviewed Longmont's Deborah Fernie, who said about a potential rollover to next season. Well, she's been a season ticket holder since 2014 and said she doesn't mind if the payment just stays on the books in case they do play games, or it can be carried over to next year. I'm sure not everyone agrees with that situation, but most Rockies fans seem to be understanding, as we're all in a period of uncertainty right now. Jim Noland is a fan who said that he's an original season ticket holder who organizes a large group with several fans, said that there needs to be some sort of refund or credit for this year. There's a line drive towards left field. That ball is going to be fair into the corner. Narvaez on his way to third. With the catcher's speed, he'll be held there. That's a double for Avisail Garcia, and a couple runners are in scoring position with nobody out now for the Brewers.
The first baseman, number 12, Justin Miller.
And Jim Noland also said that in the discussions he's had with all of his friends, a lot of them probably won't renew their tickets for the 2021 season unless it's completely safe to go to games anyway, regardless of personal protective equipment. Justin Smoke lines one foul. And he said he could be taking a financial bloodbath if he's stuck with 24 pairs of tickets or so at around $100 a game. Owen pitch to Smoke is taken inside with a slider. Smoke 9 for his last 29 at the plate. That's a .310 average over his last 10 games. There's a 1-1 from Gray, and that swung on and chopped foul at the plate. And swinging a miss, he got him on strikes. That's out number 1. First strikeout of the day for John Gray here in the second inning. Also, during this time of COVID-19, the Rockies and many other teams around baseball have made commitments to paying their staff through at least the month of May. Rockies seem to be one of the leading teams in terms of being willing to pay past that date. Orlando Arcia, the batter. But there are also some stadium workers, thousands of them in fact, according to John Barr of ESPN, who have not been covered by pledges of financial support. Ground ball towards second base. McMahon makes the play. Scoring is going to be Narvaez on the RBI ground out by Arcia, and now it's 2-0 Brewers.
Batting ninth, the pitcher, number 37, Adrian Hauser.
And Barr interviewed a man named Marvin Spratley, who's been a grill cook for nearly 2 years. He's worked for the Philadelphia Flyers, 76ers, and Eagles, so all the major sports that aren't baseball. But still, he said that the $14 per hour pay was barely enough to support his 3 children already. It's a ground ball to third. Arenado up with the ball. Throws to first, and that'll retire the side. Brewers push across their second run in 2 innings. It's 2-0 Milwaukee. Rockies will be trying to answer back with Arenado, Murphy, and McMahon. We'll talk to you more about the story of Marvin Spratley, the grill cook, when we return. Nolan Arenado leads off the bottom of the second inning. We were talking about a story from ESPN by Jason Barr about Marvin Spratley, who's been a grill cook for nearly 2 years, and he's in a situation where there's, well, professional sports leagues has suspended play a couple months ago now, or last month. I don't know. It seems like it's been going. We've lost track of time here. So Spratley not able to work as Arenado hits one up the middle into center field. A base hit, first hit of the day for the Rockies. A leadoff base hit for Arenado here in the second. Spratley said that he made up for roughly half of his missing wages from unemployment benefits, and he expects to receive the federal stimulus money but it still won't be enough to make ends meet. He says his stress level has gone through the roof. The bills are piling up for him. The managing partner of the Philadelphia 76ers, Josh Harris, recently joined owners, managers, and athletes from across leagues who have pledged financial support for team and stadium staffers sidelined by the pandemic. The 76ers, the NBA team for the Philly area, agreed to pay about 350 full and part-time employees to work game days for the games they missed due to the crisis. Comcast Spectacor is the company that owns the Wells Fargo Center and the Flyers. Murphy skies one in the air to left field, coming in as Avisail Garcia. He'll make the catch for out number 1. Arenado will have to hold. Let's look at the defense now for the Brewers. Left to right in the outfield, we have Garcia, Kane, the Gold Glove winner last year for the first time, and Christian Yelich in right. Infield corners, Orlando Arcia and Justin Smoke. Up the middle, a double play combination today is Brock Holt and Keston Hiura, and the battery consists of Omar Narvaez, the catcher, and Adrian Hauser, the starting pitcher. Ryan McMahon will be the batter. Hitting .231 on the year. He's had a good series. 2 home runs in the first game. First pitch here is going to miss inside, ball 1. But we talked about, again, the Comcast Spectacor paid about 1,000 game day employees through April 15, and the Phillies set aside $1 million to assist hourly ballpark employees who are missing their paychecks. But the gestures don't extend to people like Spratley. Because rather than working directly for a team or a stadium, he's employed by Aramark, which is a Philadelphia-based company which has contracts with Philadelphia's teams to provide concessions during home games. So he and his peers, third-party contractors nationwide, are among more than 22 million people who have filed for unemployment since this crisis began. McMahon pulls one foul. There's about 2,500 Aramark concession workers that staff the 3 stadiums in South Philadelphia alone. According to Unite Here, Local 274. It's a pop-up foul territory behind the plate. Narvaez camping under it. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 2. That'll leave it up to Ian Desmond here in the second. Rockies trying to capitalize on that leadoff base runner in Nolan Arenado by not stranding him.
The left fielder, Ian Desmond.
A lot of those concession staffers work year-round at events across venues in Philadelphia. There's a 2016 collective bargaining agreement with Aramark that allowed them to work at more than one stadium, meaning the pay they receive from that work is often their sole source of income.
0-1.
And, some people think it's like pocket change, said Roslin Usinich, who's the president of that Local 274 union. It's a ground ball chopped foul down the first base line by Desmond. But it's not for people who are in high school or college trying to make a few extra bucks. These are people supporting families on their income. And this has become really a big financial crisis for low-wage workers. Desmond swings and misses, and that will retire the side. We're through 2 innings of play. It is 2-0 Brewers. Lorenzo Cain leads off here in the third. He flied out his first time up.
The center fielder, number 6, Lorenzo Cain.
First pitch from Gray is going to miss low and away.
1 ball, no strike.
Continuing to talk about the story from John Barr about how a lot of concession workers and staffers at various stadiums and ballparks are trying to make up for not getting covered by the pledges of financial support from athletes and teams. There have been several major markets as Cain rips one towards deep left center field. Going back on this one is Desmond, and that ball's off the very top of the wall. Dahl will play the carom, and he'll fire it back in. That's a leadoff double here in the third for Lorenzo Cain. His 3rd double of the season. In some of those major markets, New York City, there are 625 workers at Barclays Center who work for the Chicago-based food company Levy. They're going to get paid by the team and arena for missed Brooklyn Nets games. And in Chicago, 792 Levy concession workers at the United Center are going to be paid for 14 Chicago Bulls and 14 Bulls and Chicago Blackhawks games that have been postponed. and about 1,060 concession workers at Wrigley Field and Guaranteed Rate Field, where the Cubs and White Sox play respectively, are going to, they could qualify for non-taxable assistance grants of $500 if teams determine they're eligible. Then in LA, roughly 500 workers who staff the Los Angeles Lakers, Clippers, and Kings games are going to be compensated by those teams until the end of the season. And the union posted a petition asking the Dodgers and Angels to also extend support to contract workers. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on Brock Holt, 2-2 the count. Gray from the stretch gets ready to deliver a 2-2 pitch, and it's way inside, full count now on Holt. Christian Yelich is waiting on deck, homered his first time up, batting .400 on the year. Like to see him bat with as few base runners as possible. That's going to miss low, ball 4, and a couple runners on with nobody out now for Christian Yelich against John Gray. A couple teams have agreed to provide financial support to contract workers, according to union spokespeople. Those are going to be the San Francisco Giants and Boston Red Sox. And Lushinich's union is pushing Philadelphia sports teams to continue to pay Aramark so that the company can extend financial support and provide health insurance to the contract workers. For their part, Comcast Spectacor, again, that's the company that owns the Wells Fargo Center and the Flyers, declined to comment on the petition. The 76ers and Phillies did as well. Eagles did not respond to a request for comment. Aramark's spokesman said that they recognize the closures are creating significant personal hardships, especially for their dedicated hourly associates. And otherwise, not a whole lot of breadth in that quote there. There's a swing and a line drive, base hit into right field. It's going to get Kane home. And now it is 3-0 Brewers. RBI single for Christian Yelich, and still nobody out here in the third. Steve Foster, pitching coach, will go out to have a discussion with John Gray, who's allowed a run in each of the first 3 innings now. First pitch to Keston here is going to be a strike with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Nothing wrong with the velocity for John Gray today. This ESPN article, he spoke to Adelaide Avila, who's 52 years old. She's in her 15th season at Los Angeles' Staples Center. She works as a cashier on the VIP floor. And she said it was a huge relief off a lot of workers' shoulders when she found out the Lakers, Clippers, and Kings would be supporting her and other concession workers, even though she works for Levy. Paycheck she received in early April was about half what she normally receives. Beyond the paycheck from back on April 17, she's not sure what she's going to get compensated. Ground ball to second base, McMahon flips to Story for one, back to first, and that's a big double play. And there are 2 outs. Steve Foster, whatever he told John Gray worked out well there. He said, hey, get a double play. And Gray obliged. Omar Narvaez will be the batter. Tawanda Murray is a 45-year-old who manages a concession stand in Chicago at the United Center during Blackhawks games, and she says her worst fear is, when sports start back up and fans just don't attend anymore, because when attendance is low, companies tend to cut back. And the one thing she has comfort in, she says, is knowing her health care benefits, which she gets through her local union, will remain in place through the end of August. 0-2 pitch coming from Gray is swung on and chopped weakly towards short. Long throw for Story, but the catcher's running, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the third inning. 3 innings, 3 runs for the Brewers. Rockies trying to get on the board. They have their 8-9 one-hitters due up. Tony Walters leads off here in the bottom of the third inning, hitting .217 on the year, continuing to look at this article from John Barr of ESPN about how stadium workers are dealing with this tough time of COVID-19. First pitch from Hauser to Wolters is taken for a strike. And Patrick Risch is the director of sports business programs at Washington University in St. Louis. He estimated that if the NBA and NHL seasons don't resume, arena workers employed both by teams and third-party contractors would lose $69 million in total earnings, and that's not nice. And if 25% of the MLB season isn't played, workers lose an estimated $151 million in total earnings. That number could double if the league doesn't play half its games, according to their calculations. Wolters swings, skies one in the air to center field. Coming in is Kane. He'll make the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up John Gray, the starting pitcher. Let's look at how things are shaping up in the NL Central right now. A half-game lead for the Brewers over the Cubs. A couple of the top offenses in baseball towards the top of that division. Look at that. The Pittsburgh Pirates also 16-12. They're only a half game back. Kind of a bunched-up division there. Reds and Cardinals right now in last place. Gray hitting 111 on the year as the starting pitcher. Pitch misses outside.
Ball. 1-0.
That one's low, 2-0. The good thing here is Risch, again, that was his calculation about losing $151 million. The potential positive side here is that his calculations are not taking into account the financial relief some teams have pledged, so that could help out some. Low and away, and 3-0 now, and the pitcher John Gray, David Dahl waiting on deck. Levy has the largest market share of food and beverage contracts in the United States, 45% of the arenas. And they said that they are implementing furloughs, salary adjustments, and limited workforce reductions. Delaware North is one of Levy's largest competitors. They took similar steps last month. They placed more than 2/3 of the company's 3,100 full-time employees on temporary leave. Delaware North has 55,000 employees working in sports venues, travel and hospitality business, parks, resorts, and casinos. Swing and a miss from 3-0. It's now 3-2 on John Gray. Remember Spratley, who we talked about earlier, he's diabetic, and he has that pre-existing condition, which he's mindful about is potentially allowing being more susceptible to COVID-19. It's Gray skies one in the air to shallow right field. Yelich coming in. He'll make the catch for out number 2. And it's a really tough situation. And many of the people, according to Usinich, who have the highest risk of infection right now are the people who earn the least, because they're taking risks just to survive financially. Spratley said that his fiancée works part-time for a grocery delivery service, a job that, in the current social distancing environment, is not without its risks, of course. Dahl takes a pitch inside, 2-0 the count. Swung on and popped up foul territory, third base side. It's a long run for Arcia. He won't get there. Coming up in the fourth, we'll talk a little bit more about that lawsuit that's going on in New York about fans wanting refunds and some teams being a little bit unwilling to give it to them. 3-1 pitch coming to Dahl is swung on and missed. Full count now. And swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. That'll retire the side. We're through 3 innings. It's 3-0 Brewers. Adrian Hauser has looked good today. Visael Garcia leads off here in the top of the 4th inning. Double. His first time up, that was in the 2nd inning of this ball game. John Gray's first pitch is taken for a strike of the knees. So Michael McCann of Sports Illustrated wrote an article about the 2 plaintiffs in that case in New York. Matthew Azayman has a fly ball to right field. Blackman will camp under it, make the catch. Also Susan Terry Blazer, they're 2 New York residents who contend their tickets to postponed but not canceled Yankees and Mets games should be fully refunded. The complaint was filed back on Monday in a Los Angeles federal court. And again, it's not just Major League Baseball and the commissioner and the 30 teams. It's also 5 ticket merchants: Ticketmaster, Live Nation Worldwide, Live Nation Entertainment, StubHub, and last-minute transactions.
1-0.
And the defendants, it has been asserted, are in violation of California statutes that outlaw unfair competition, unlawful conspiracies, and unjust enrichment. The lawsuit portrays Major League Baseball and its teams as unethically conspiring with merchants to hoard many millions of consumers' dollars for games that might never be played or that might be played without fans in the ballpark. The lawsuit stresses that numerous fans have lost jobs or experienced diminished wages as a result of the pandemic. And therefore, the plaintiffs contend that they need their money back. They're depicting MLB as acting in bad faith by not returning fans' dollars. 2-2 pitch coming to Smoke is taken just a bit high. Full count. Orlando Arcia waiting on deck. So the plaintiffs are demanding a court-issued injunction that would order full restitution plus interest, along with an accounting of all MLB tickets sold for the regular season and disgorgement of related profits. Swing and a miss, and he got him on strike. Smoke strikes out for out number 2 here in the 4th. Gray trying to hold the Brewers scoreless here for the first inning in this game.
Number 3, Orlando Arcia.
The plaintiffs are also seeking to have their case certified as a class action on behalf of similarly situated ticket holders. Orlando Arcia takes first pitch strike on the inside corner. A key assertion in the lawsuit is that the plaintiffs say it is virtually impossible that games will be played in 2020 with fans in attendance. And to that end, they insist the defendants are in violation of California's Legal Remedies Act, which makes it unlawful for businesses to falsely market products. There's a ground ball lead to third base. Arenado up with the ball, throws to first. That's going to retire the side. Brewers held scoreless for the first time in this ballgame. It's 4-0, 3-0. Thank goodness, Milwaukee going to the bottom of the 4th. Big hitters due up for the Rockies. Charlie Blackmon leads things off in the bottom of the 4th. Rockies have Blackmon, Story, and Arenado. Good hitters due up. And we're trailing 3-0 here in the 4th. Adrian Hauser only 37 pitches thus far. His first pitch to Blackmon is taken for a strike in the outside corner with a curveball. Blackmon hitting .266. That's good for third place on the Rockies. 1 pitch is swung on and lined into center field and a base hit. That's going to head up the gap. In left center field, it's going to get down and go to the wall. Blackmon will cruise into second base, the leadoff double here in the bottom of the 4th. And this is the best scoring opportunity of the day for the Rockies. 9th double of the year for Blackmon, the first time they've had a runner in scoring position. And Trevor Story will be the batter. First pitch is taken low. We'll talk more about the story from Michael McCann of Sports Illustrated in the 5th inning. Trevor Story struck out his first time up. From the set position, Hauser looks over at second base where Blackmon is, delivers, and that one's high and away 2-0. Story batting .318 with runners in scoring position this season. Again, those numbers are always a small sample early on in the year. And it's actually been shown, according to the data, that runner in scoring position numbers are not sustainable throughout careers, so you never really know what you're going to get with RISP. Ground ball to second base. Hira makes the play, and that's out number 1. Blackmon will advance over to third. He's there with 1 out. And Nolan Arenado will be the batter. He got a base at his first time up. First run of the game for the Rockies is 90 feet away with 1 out. Arenado 3 for 9 in the series. Homered in the first game off Josh Hader in the bottom of the 9th, but that was not enough for the Rockies to come back in that one. Ryan McMahon homered in that inning as well. First pitch is going to miss down and in with a 93-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball. See Arenado hitting .500 with runners in scoring position on the year. Is in there for a strike with a curveball that time. Narvaez points out to the mound, appreciating Hauser hitting his location. 1-1 delivery now on its way, and swung on and missed for strike two. One-two offering is taken inside. Rockies trying to capitalize on their best scoring opportunity they've had so far today. Two-two to Arenado is swung on and pulled foul, just getting a piece. Arenado trying to bring Blackmon home from third. There is one out. And the pitch from Hauser is going to miss outside. Full count now. Daniel Murphy is waiting on deck. Arenado and Murphy are the two Rockies who have started every game of the 2020 season so far. This 3-2 is swung on and fouled the other way. We'll do it again. Next pitch will be the 50th of the day for Adrian Hauser. Just having to work a little bit really for the first time today. Another 3-2 to Arenado is swung on and fouled out of play. Arenado not going away quietly. This will be at least a 9-pitch plate appearance for Arenado against Hauser. Here's a 3-2 one more time. That swung on and fouled out of play. Arenado making Hauser's pitch count run up all by himself. One more time. A 3-2 is swung on and missed. Hauser wins the battle, and there are two away now for Daniel Murphy. Fourth strikeout for Hauser. Rockies in danger of stranding Blackmon at third base.
The first baseman, Daniel Murphy.
Daniel Murphy 0 for 1 in this ball game. First pitch from Hauser is taken outside of the two-seam fastball at 93 miles per hour. This 1-0 is going to miss low and away with a curveball. Murphy hitting .313 with RISP this year. Hauser into his motion. This pitch is swung on and missed. 2-1 now on Daniel Murphy. Hauser comes set. Looks towards third base, delivers a 2-1, and that's inside. 3 balls and a strike. Waiting on deck is Ryan McMahon. Hauser from the set position gets ready to deliver a 3-1 pitch to Daniel Murphy. Here it comes. And strike on the inside corner. Full count now. (3-2). Swung on and grounded towards second base. Here up with the ball, throws to first, and that'll retire the side. Rockies get a leadoff double from Charlie Blackmon. He advances to third with one out. But the Rockies cannot get him home. We go to the 5th inning, 3-0 Brewers. Continuing the conversation, Michael McCann's article in Sports Illustrated about Major League Baseball and its ticketing partners who are facing litigation for refusing to issue refunds for games that are currently, quote, postponed, unquote. In this lawsuit, The plaintiffs insist that baseball's refusal to issue refunds during a pandemic constitutes a cruel and unscrupulous practice that greatly injures consumers. They further allege that consumers were deceived when buying tickets. Consumers, the plaintiffs say, had no way of knowing that Major League Baseball teams wouldn't issue refunds in the event of a pandemic, and they didn't know teams would unfairly retain the payments of consumers for tickets of games that are not going to be played. The complaint also asserts the defendants engaged in coordination and cooperation, and while the second base, McMahon, makes the play. It's out number 1. Coordination and cooperation is part of an unlawful conspiracy. The plaintiff's charge was designed to use game postponements as pretext for retaining consumers' monies, and that by holding on to the money, Major League Baseball and the other defendants have been unjustly enriched at the expense of innocent ticket holders. And again, they have petitioned to the court to certify their case as a class action. First pitch to Lorenzo Cain is taken high.
Ball. 1-0.
Under the team purchaser class, all persons and entities who purchase regular season tickets for MLB games directly from one or more team defendants for games scheduled to be played during the 2020 MLB season affected by COVID-19 that will not proceed as initially scheduled. Pop-up first base side foul territory. Murphy makes the catch for out number 2. There's also the resale purchaser class. And it's argued that the plaintiffs, Ajdeinman and Terry Blazer, say their proposed class is numerous because millions of consumers bought tickets. The questions raised in the case are common. Other people seeking MLB refunds that are in the same predicament. The legal arguments are typical. Other consumers with tickets might seek to rely on California's consumer-friendly statutes, and the two plaintiffs would fairly and adequately protect the class. They hired a class action specialist who specializes in consumer cases. So it'll be in the coming weeks when Major League Baseball and the other defendants will answer the complaint. Arguments as such will be: 1, MLB contending the case is not ripe for litigation. Ground ball to first base. Murphy knocks it down. That's going to be a base runner reaching. That'll be scored an infield single. So Brock Holt will reach with 2 outs for Christian Yelich. He's 2 for 2 today. Wade Davis and James Pazos, righty and lefty double barrel action in the Rockies bullpen. There's a pop foul towards the seats. So the league is going to carefully distinguish postponement from cancellation, because if the league cancels the games, plays them without fans, or plays them in a different ballpark, the fans would get a more compelling argument that they are owed refunds. In any of those circumstances, MLB would have failed to provide the advertised service, a license to enter a particular ballpark and sit in a particular seat to watch 2 teams play. For now, Major League Baseball maintains that it intends to play postponed games it advertised. There's a fly ball to left field on the run. For this one is Desmond, and he'll get there to make the catch. I'll retire the side. We'll talk more about this, the defenses for Major League Baseball in the bottom of the 5th, with McMahon, Desmond, and Wolters due up. 3-0 Brewers. Bud Black looking things over in the dugout for the Rockies, their manager. Pitching coach Steve Foster alongside him. Interesting day for John Gray. He's looked better in the last 2 innings. McMahon will lead things off. He popped out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. That came in the second inning. Bullpen action now for the Brewers. McMahon hitting .228 on the year. Slugging very good, well over 500. First pitch here is taken for a strike. Continuing to look at the article from Michael McCann of Sports Illustrated about the 2 plaintiffs filing a lawsuit against Major League Baseball and some of Major League Baseball's defenses. So for right now, Major League Baseball maintains that it intends to play postponed games in its advertised venues. And as a rebuttal, the plaintiffs would insist this type of defense is made in bad faith and that MLB is using postponement as mere pretext to keep money. There's a fly ball towards left field. Going back on this one is Garcia. The ball's going to be off the wall, and it'll bounce over the wall for a ground rule double. 5th double of the year for Ryan McMahon, leading things off here. Rockies got a leadoff double last inning from Charlie Blackmon. Failed to bring him home. They will try to make good on that leadoff double here in the 5th. Ian Desmond will be the batter. He struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Fighting a little bit right now at the plate is Ian Desmond, 209. As Dinger encourages the crowd to get excited and encourage Ian Desmond and Tony Wolters behind him to bring McMahon home. First pitch from Hauser here is swung on and skied towards right field and foul and out of play. Another point of defense for Major League Baseball is they will highlight teams' well-established ticket policies that explicitly state that postponed games do not compel refunds. It's a ground ball, base hit into left field. McMahon will be held at third. Runners on the corners with nobody out now for the Rockies. Tony Wolters will be the batter. Coming up in the 6th inning, we'll talk more about this. We'll look at a specific ticket policy for the Washington Nationals and why that would be a defense. There's a ground ball towards first base, stepping on the bag for, no, not stepping on the bag, but throwing down to second for 1 is Smoke. The return throw will get Wolters. That's an easy double play. McMahon will score. No RBI for Wolters as a double play does not achieve you a run batted in. But the Rockies are on the board. They trail it 3-1. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Might like to see a few more runners cross the plate, and that did not happen here. John Gray will be the batter. He's 0 for 1 in this ball game. He swings and grounds one foul. So, again, the ticket policy for the Nationals say that in the event a game is not played due to weather or any other reason, there's a key for you, the ticket will constitute a rain check that can be either used for admission to the rescheduled game, if any, subject to certain doubleheader limitations, or the paid value of your tickets to a postponed or canceled game can be redeemed for tickets to a future regular season game, subject to blackout dates and availability, and minus any loaded value previously spent. Under no circumstances will a refund be given. Here comes a 1-2 to Gray now. It's going to miss in the dirt. So that language would indicate that so long as postponed games are played during the same regular season, no refund is required. There's a line drive right into the glove of the third baseman, Arcia, and that'll retire the side. In the 6th, we'll talk about the policy for the Yankees, which is very similar. Arcia showing off his hops, needed every inch of his frame to make the catch. 3-1 Brewers after 5. Keston Hiura leads off the 6th. He's 0 for 2. He's put the ball on the ground twice for outs. Rockies getting on the board in the bottom of the 5th on a double play ball off the bat of Tony Wolters. Gray out for his 6th inning of work. He's at 70 pitches. First pitch to Hiura was taken for a strike in the inside corner. It's going to miss outside. And outside again, no hitters count on Hiura. And we're talking about Michael McCann's article at Sports Illustrated about the impending lawsuit against Major League Baseball for not issuing refunds if games are postponed. 2-1 pitch coming to Hiura is going to miss outside, 3-1. And the Yankees' language in their ticket policy attempts to limit their legal exposure and disclaim potential liability. They have a rain check policy which says, in no event will the Yankees be liable to the ticket holder and or ticket purchaser for any direct fly ball to right field. Blackman going back on this one. He'll make the catch for out number 1. Indirect, consequential, exemplary, incidental, special or punitive damages, or for lost profits, revenues, or business opportunities, even if the Yankees have been advised of the possibility of such damages. As for Ticketmasters, one of the defendants in this case, their website has language that is very similar that tells consumers that Major League Baseball does not provide refunds for post games. It just says plainly, postponed MLB games are not eligible for refunds. Here's what the defendants can do about that. They can cite repeated instances of language telling consumers that postponed games are not refundable events, and as a rebuttal, the plaintiffs would argue that none of these policies contemplated a once-in-a-century pandemic, and thus boilerplate language ought not to apply. Quite a situation Major League Baseball has found itself in here, quite a situation we are all finding ourselves in with the COVID-19 pandemic. Another thing that Major League Baseball is going to argue is the case should neither be tried in California nor certified as a class action, because according to the complaint, Ajayman spent $1,730 for tickets to more than 20 Mets games at Citi Field. Meanwhile, Terry Blazer spent $926 to purchase 6 tickets to watch the Yankees play the Boston Red Sox on May 9 at Yankee Stadium. And MLB, which like the two plaintiffs is based in New York, could petition to have the case moved to a federal court in New York on grounds that it would be a more appropriate and convenient forum for many of the parties. The ticket merchants, however, are located in different states. Strike 3 called. He got him on strikes. It's the third strikeout of the day for John Gray. 2 outs. So struggling through the first 3 innings was Gray, then his last 3 have been much better. So that type of position would, at minimum, delay the proceedings and potentially preclude the plaintiffs from using the California law. Avisail Garcia will be the batter. And Major League Baseball could maintain the case should not be certified since, among other reasons, consumer laws vary significantly among the states where Major League Baseball games are played. And should the litigation advance, it's possible MLB and the ticket merchants could point fingers at each other. And their contracts with each other could become crucial evidence. Don't know anything about the scheduling of the litigation. Many courts right now have adopted limited operations due to the pandemic, which prioritize available court time for criminal cases or other civil matters. It's also true of the U.S. District Court. For the Central District of California, there's a high fly ball towards deep left field way back, and that ball is gone. 4-1 Brewers. Avisail Garcia, it's his second home run of the year, second home run of the series. That was deep to left field. Rockies are down by 3 runs now. 441 feet estimated distance, 104.7 mile per hour exit velocity for Garcia. We'll take a look at this one again. Right into the wheelhouse of Avisail Garcia. And there was little doubt about that one. Desmond just watched it fly. And Bud Black is out to make a pitching change now. Bit of a rough start for John Gray. It got better as the day went on. But we'll be looking for some improvements from John Gray after this outing. Another rough one for John Gray. He's really fighting it out there right now. Wade Davis is going to come into the ball game. He's slowly getting that ERA down. We'll give him that. 13 and a third innings. His ERA now at 8.78, 11 strikeouts, 2 walks. Batting average against righties is at 400. Lefties is at 318. Blown a couple saves on the year. This is his 18th game. 1-1 his record. He will try to just get this final out here. Justin Smoke in the 6th. He may come out for the 7th inning of work as well. First pitch is a strike to Smoke. So that's all we really have to say about the pending lawsuit against Major League Baseball. There's a lot there, and there's a lot that still needs to be decided. A 1 pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. Quickly 0-2 on Justin Smoke, who's trying to avoid the hat trick. He struck out twice already in this ball game. Here comes an 0-2 from Davis into his motion. Here's the windup. And inside, ball 1.
Inside.
Interesting thing about that lawsuit, another thing, this is from the Associated Press, is that the caption on the first page of the lawsuit included Tampa Bay Devil Rays. As Justin Smoke strikes out for the 3rd time today. Devil Rays has not been in the team's nickname since 2007, but they are one of the defendants. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-1 Brewers. David Dahl leads things off here in the bottom of the 6th, 4-1 Milwaukee. He's 0 for 2, strikeout and a flyout in this game. 319 OBP, 250 average, and a 699 OPS. David Dahl trying to get things going for the Rockies, who trail it by 3 runs here. Adrian Hauser out for his 6th inning of work in the bottom of the 6th. Just strike 0-1. 11 doubles for David Dahl. That's tied for first place in the National League, so we've been talking about his slow start. He's been getting better, and he's certainly been hitting for doubles power. Hauser into his motion. The windup in the 0-1 pitch is swung on and chopped weakly towards the shift. Second baseman Hira makes the play for out number 1. That'll bring up Charlie Blackmon.
The right fielder, number 19, Charlie Blackmon.
Of course, also due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there's a lot of questions about minor league teams and players. They're facing a bleak future, according to Jay Cohen of the Associated Press. Blackmon swings line zone towards left field. Garcia going back on this one. He'll make the catch for out number 2. Attendance at minor league games last year was more than 41.5 million, which was a 2.6% increase over 2018. Also the 15th straight year with more than 40 million fans. It's fairly, especially certain teams are very popular. But no one is immune, especially the Durham Bulls. They're one of the most popular. They draw some of the most fans, and they recently placed more than half of their front office staff on furlough.
1-0.
Bulls Vice President Mike Burling said, "We need kind of a perfect storm in terms of all the cities where AAA teams are located. They would all need to be okay, and that seems pretty unrealistic right now."
1 ball, 1 strike.
Zach Short is an infielder in the Cubs organization who got up to AAA Iowa last summer, and he said, well, hopefully they're going to be expanding rosters at the major league level, because that's about the best hope for a lot of these minor leaguers, especially if about 40 teams are eliminated. We've seen the Grand Junction Rockies and Lancaster Jethawks, 2 proposed teams to be eliminated for the Rockies organization. The story goes too far, and that's going to retire the side. Hauser's looked really good today. It's 4-1 Brewers after 6. Tyler Kinley will come on to pitch for the Rockies. 2.03 ERA, 13 1/3 innings pitch. Must see Kinley has 17 strikeouts and 4 walks. Interesting reverse splits. Lefty's not getting any hits hardly at all. Righty's getting quite a few, well over a third of the time. Carlos Estevez and James Pazos up in the bullpen. It's 4-1 Brewers. Orlando Arcia leads off. 0 for 2, a couple of groundouts. One was an RBI groundout. As we continue to talk about Jay Cohen's article at the Associated Press about really rough situation for the minor leagues right now. Zach Short, who's in the Cubs organization, has to share a house with his with Ian Happ, Nico Horner, and Dakota Mekes, also in the Cubs organization. Minor leaguer in these Brewers organization, Andre Nebe, is expected to start Class A ball this year. And Class A is really some of the a lot of the teams that are under speculation of being eliminated are in the Class A league. So Nebe built a batting cage at his house in Oakland, ordered some basic gym equipment, trying to get resistance bands also. He said he might try tying those to a tree to get in a strength workout. And he says you have to be creative in finding ways to work out. He said that also helps take his mind off things, as there's a swing and a miss. Kinley gets his 18th strikeout of the year. Must see Kinley out number 1. As he gets Orlando Arcia. Pitcher spot is due up, and if I were the Brewers, I might take a stab at sending Adrian Hauser back out there. Yep, he's gonna bat for himself here in the 7th. He's had a heck of a day. In line for his first win of the year, he's 0 for 2 at the plate. First pitch from Kinley is taken for a strike, 97-mile-an-hour fastball. So right now, MLB and the minors are working on a new development contract. The current professional baseball agreement expires in September. So one to Hauser is going to miss low.
No, that's low. Ball.
That's low. Hitters count now on the pitcher, Adrian Hauser. There are a lot of teams that have avoided furloughs and layoffs so far. Each team was, we're talking about Fort Wayne, Columbia, and Chattanooga, who are mentioned in this article from the AP. They were all approved for a Paycheck Protection Program loan from the U.S. government. Chattanooga, however, was mentioned as one of the teams that might lose its affiliation, so there you have that. Two-two pitch coming from Kinley to Hauser now. Swung on in line towards left field on the run, and that one's going to be in foul territory. Desmond will get a better look at where it lands. It's inside, full count.
Full count.
Three-two pitch coming from Kinley to Hauser is just a bit low, and Kinley walks the opposing starting pitcher, and that's never a good sign. Walks will haunt. They seem to haunt quite a bit when it's to the opposing pitcher. Rush Markazi, LA Times columnist, had an article about why it might not just be quarantine MLB games might not just be a thing of this year. They might be a part of a new normal. That's according to Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert. Lorenzo Cain fouls on how to play. And he said, he was on the Yes Network on Monday, said sports could resume this year despite the COVID-19 pandemic, but games would have to take place in venues without fans or with fans practicing social distancing. And he says he cannot see a return this year to what we would consider normal. One pitch coming to Cain is taken for a strike. And according to Joel Sherman of the New York Post, Texas is now being considered a potential plan for restarting Major League Baseball games. 1-2 pitch to Cain is swung on and popped foul and towards the seats. Sherman writes, pick a day, hear about a plan. So it was, an Arizona-Florida plan, now an Arizona-Florida-Texas plan. So fly ball foul and out of play. All these plans, remember, are very fluid, even the ones about Arizona, which has been the most talked about. Very fluid situation. And Major League Baseball's decisions will be based on what municipalities give them the green light to try to play and where. There's a fly ball to right field. This one should be playable, I think. Nope. It's going to go foul. Cain delivering souvenirs to all parts of the ballpark. Here comes a 1-2 from Kinley from the stretch. And it swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. That's out number 2. Second strikeout of the inning for Kinley. Strikes out the 2 position players he faces, walks the starting pitcher. We'll see how he handles Brock Holt now. One team executive said, who knows what the state of things will allow and also what will be necessary to do and when the opportunity arises and if it will arise. So there's a lot of question marks still here. But what does seem to be happening here is that the Arizona-only possibility is becoming less. 1-0 pitch to Holt is taken low because there's playing games exclusively in the Western time zone is what people don't like. They don't like the hot. This is a lot of this is about players, a lot of this is about the league, a lot about fans. The hot weather for outdoor games in the summer is an issue. There's a ground ball towards second base. McMahon flips the short way, and that'll retire the side. Must-see Kinley walks the pitcher, but otherwise gets a ground out and a couple strikeouts. 7th inning stretch time. Corey Shembry's going to sing for us, and Corey, bring us some good luck for the bottom of the 7th. It's 4-1 Brewers.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Your attention.
We're going to have a new pitcher for Milwaukee, so not sure why they sent Adrian Hauser out to the plate. I guess they knew he was going to draw a walk. Brent Suter, 19 innings, 18 strikeouts, 3 walks, 5.68 ERA. The strikeout-to-walk ratio is quite good. He's given up a lot of hits, though, and hopefully the Rockies can capitalize on that. Nolan Arenado leads off here in the bottom of the 7th. He's 1 for 2, got a base hit in the 2nd inning, also a strikeout today. Adrian Hauser was very good today for the Brewers. 6 really strong innings in line for his first win of the year. Arenado has a 424 OBP. First pitch from Suter is swung on in line towards the gap in left center field. That ball is going to get down and hop off the wall. Arenado will cruise into second base with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 7th. We've seen a few leadoff doubles for the Rockies in various innings today. That's the 8th double of the year for Arenado. Only once was a runner able to cross the plate, and that was because of a double play off the bat of Walters with less than 2 outs. This could hopefully be something where the Rockies can get something going off a pitcher not named Adrian Hauser. Daniel Murphy will be the batter, lefty-on-lefty matchup. An interesting motion from the set position for Suter. First pitch here is swung on and pulled foul. So Joel Sherman of the New York Post writing about some more possibilities for how baseball is going to be played. Also another problem with Arizona is teams don't want to be away from either their spring or home bases if those areas are possible to be used, and players are hesitant to lock into a biosphere-type situation in one locale. Fall out of play quickly, 0-2 on Murphy. It also remains possible MLB will start that spring training 2.0. They're going to have to. And perhaps a regular season in 1, 2, or 3 locales, and keep expanding it if it gets the nod from health officials to move to familiar sites. The Arizona-Florida plan is basic if it could be pulled off to essentially put the 30 teams in their spring training sites, which among other things will provide familiarity with local health officials, and it wouldn't force any club to prepare without its regular surroundings, equipment, and modern technology installed specifically for that site. Benefits, of course, for the Arizona-Florida-Texas plan, particularly for TV, if he takes the pitch outside. As Major League Baseball would ideally like to broadcast games all day to a nation that still might have many inside homes hungering for live sports. Again, you got Eastern Time Zone Florida, Central Time Zone Texas, Western Time Zone Arizona. Swing and a miss. Murphy strikes out for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. So that could easily allow a stream of games throughout the day. It's, of course, it's not easy to get the whole thing underway in the first place. But if they were to get it underway, it would be easy to allow for games all day. And MLB could seek ways to make up for lost revenues by, among other things, trying to get more national games on the air. The Rangers were set to open their new stadium, Globe Life Field, which would have a retractable roof, so that would allow... So if one of Globe Life and Minute Maid Park, where the Astros play, were both in use, multiple games could be played in one venue daily, regardless of the weather. McMahon takes a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Dallas region also, for example, has minor league stadiums and the chance to use fields at University of Texas, TCU. The condition on the field is going to matter and not capacity. Again, only the condition of the field will matter, I should say, and not capacity, as spectators will be forbidden at least through the outset. At the outset, should games be played. The league, what they could do in this 3-game scenario is split up into 3-team subsections with those clubs playing regularly, with the hope that better health condition would allow for moving clubs to different locales or moving them more permanently back to their regular season home sites. All this, as Sherman writes, is at the mercy of how the country progresses through the virus and allows the kind of gatherings that would allow major league teams to prepare, play, and to get to whatever site is necessary. Right now, it's just brainstorming on the part of Major League Baseball as they await an information that would allow them to specifically focus on 1 or 2 plans. It is a 3-2 count on Ryan McMahon, lefty-on-lefty matchup. McMahon hits lefties very well, however. Suter looks toward second base where Arenado is and delivers a swing and a ground ball pulled foul. Really long plate appearance here for Ryan McMahon. One more time from the set position from Suter. A 3-2 is just a bit high. Ball 4, he walked him. What a plate appearance for Ryan McMahon. And that'll bring up Ian Desmond, who really likes facing left-handed pitchers. But we're going to have a pitching change. It'll be Ray Black to come in. Now, he's had a rough start to his year as well. 6.23 ERA in 13 innings, 17 strikeouts, 11 walks. So the problem for him has been the command. Hasn't really given up a whole lot of hits. So Rockies will just try to be patient here. Black has blown 1 save on the year. 4-1 Brewers. Desmond is the potential tying run at the plate. 1 for 2, got a base hit in the 5th inning. Just need to be patient because Black has struggled with command. First pitch inside, and that hits Ian Desmond. And the bases are going to be loaded with 1 out for Tony Wolters. Last time up, Wolters grounded into a double play that scored a run. Wouldn't be able to do that this time. As that would make it 2 outs. 0 for 2 fly out in that ground into double play for Wolters on the year. He's hitting .208, 5 runs batted in, no home runs. Wolters really been fighting it at the plate ever since he returned from the injured list stint, which he spent with a right lat strain. First pitch here is going to miss high again. Just need to be patient. Wolters certainly is one of the more patient hitters in the Rockies lineup. And we saw that first pitch hit by pitch to Ian Desmond and struggles with command on the year for Ray Black. 1-0. It's going to miss high. 2-0. Good velocity from Black. That was a 99-mile-an-hour fastball high in the zone. Wolters laid off. This 2-0 is swung on and missed. 2-1 the count now on Wolters. Let's set the situation for you. Arenado led off this inning with a double. He's at third base. Ryan McMahon walked. He's at second. Desmond got hit by a pitch. He's at first. 1 out. Tying run is on base. Go-ahead run. Tony Wolters at the plate. 2-1 pitch coming is way inside. 3-1 now. The pitcher spot is waiting on deck. Hilliard, Hampson, Owings, Elias Diaz, Tapia all on the bench for the Rockies. 5-man bench this year with the extra man allowed on the roster. Swinging a foul out of play. Might have been ball 4 that Wolters just swung at. The count goes full. It'll be a 3-2 offering coming to Tony Wolters. Here it is, and it's swung on and chopped weakly in front of the mound, but it's a foul ball. A little too close for comfort there. Wolters just getting a piece to stay alive. Here's another 3-2. That's low. Ball 4. He walked him. Bases a loaded walk for Tony Wolters. That'll bring across a run. Arenado will score. This is a 4-2 ball game, and we'll have a pinch hitter. Raimel Tapia will step out of the dugout to pinch hit in the pitcher spot where Tyler Kinley was. Bases loaded. 1 out for the Rockies. 4-2 Brewers lead this game. Ray Black has really struggled with command. Tapia swings, lifts a high fly ball to right field. Yelich will be under it. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Murphy, and he will score. And this is a 4-3 ball game. Sorry, that's McMahon scoring. RBI sac fly for Raimel Tapia makes this a one-run ball game. And David Dahl will be the batter as the lineup turns over now. A couple runs across here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll have a new pitcher. It's going to be Alex Claudio. I'm going to make sure I get that accent mark pronunciation correct. 12 and a third innings, 7.30 ERA, 6 strikeouts, 5 walks. So he's struggled a little bit with that strikeout to walk ratio, giving up quite a few hits to righties. 18th game of the year for him. David Dahl will be trying to keep the line moving. 0 for 3 in this game. Grounded out his last time up. That was just an inning ago in the 6th. 4-3 Brewers. Desmond on second. Wolters on first. Lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch to Dahl is swung on and lifted in the air towards right field. Going back on this one is Yelich. He's at the track and he will make the catch in front of the wall. Dahl gave that one a ride, but that's going to retire the side. Nice catch from Christian Yelich. We're through 7 innings. Rockies get a couple. It's 4-3 Brewers going to the 8th. James Pazos in to pitch here in the 8th. 6.08 ERA through 13 and a third innings pitched. 14 games this year. This is his 15th. 13 strikeouts, 8 walks. A bit high on the walks. Has given up quite a few hits as well. First batter he will face is Christian Yelich. What a series he's had. Got the batting average up over 400 now. 2 for 3 in this one with a home run. 2 home runs in this series for Yelich. First pitch from Pazos, lefty on lefty matchup is a strike in the outside corner. 8th inning, so it's time to take some looks at scores around baseball. 4-3 Pirates beat the Dodgers. That's good news for the Rockies. Rockies could overtake first place if they get a win today. It's despite Cody Bellinger hitting 2 home runs. Ground ball towards the shift. McMahon up with the ball, throws to first. That's out number 1. It's the 11th inning right now. Diamondbacks have a 9-6 lead over the Reds. One of the Martes hit a home run. We'll have to check on which one for Arizona. Miami leads the Cardinals 2-0 in the 8th inning. Cardinals really having a rough start to their year. 4-3 Cubs lead the Phillies in the 8th. Jason Hayward hit his 6th home run of the year for the Chicago Cubs. In the 8th inning, Nationals lead the Giants 3-1. Swinging a ground ball, foul. On Keston Hiura, the count is 0-2. Steven Duggar hit his first home run of the year for San Francisco. Mets and Braves are going to play in Sunday Night Baseball. It'll be Marcus Stroman versus Felix Hernandez. 37,000 in attendance as we take a look at the bullpen for the Rockies. Carlos Estevez and Jairo Diaz both warming up. Here in the 8th. Swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. That's out number 2. Pazos picks up his first strikeout of the inning. That'll leave it up to Omar Narvaez. Final score, Orioles beat the Blue Jays 11-2. Baltimore offense really coming alive. Wade LeBlanc gets his first win as an Oriole. Tanner Roark now 0-5 for the Blue Jays with the loss. First pitch to Narvaez is a strike on the outside corner. Yankees beat Cleveland 6-2. Masahiro Tanaka gets his first win of the year. Zach Plesac with the loss is now 3-2. There's a swing and a ground ball towards short. Story up with the ball. It's a nice quick 1-2-3 inning for James Pazos. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Rockies trailing by a run. It's 4-3 Brewers. New pitcher will be David Phelps. He's had a really solid start to his Brewers tenure. 8 1/3 innings, 9 strikeouts to walk. Hasn't given up many hits. 187 against lefties, 214 against righties. 3.24 ERA. This is his 10th game of the year. And the bottom of the 8th, when you're trailing by a run, who else would you rather have up than Blackman, Story, Arenado? Quite a combination. Charlie Blackman 1 for 3. He doubled back in the 4th inning. He's got a couple additional runs in the bottom of the 7th. They'll be looking to at least tie this game here in the 8th. First pitch to Charlie Blackmon is swung on and yanked foul. Some more scores around baseball. 8-4 Red Sox beat the Twins. Max Kepler hit his 4th home run in a losing cause for Minnesota. Astros beat the A's 9-8 in a high-scoring affair at Minute Maid Park.
1-1.
Stephen Piscotty hit his 4th home run of the year for the A's. Striking the outside corner to Blackmon. 2 home runs for Alex Bregman. Mariners right now lead the Rangers 3-2 in the 8th. Cargo has a couple RBIs in that ballgame. Carlos Gonzalez now with the Seattle Mariners. Strike 3 called, and Blackmon goes down on strikes for out number 1.
Now batting. No shortstop.
Trevor Story will be the batter. Story 0 for 3 on the day. First pitch from Phelps is taken low with a cut fastball. Padres won today, 9-0 over the Tigers. Nelson Lamet gets his 2nd win of the year. Michael Fulmer, his 4th loss. He's now 2-4. Manny Machado hit his 6th home run of the year. A pitch inside, 2-0 on Story. So that's not good news for the Rockies, trying to get back into first place. They will need a win here today. Good news is the Dodgers lost to the Pirates. That's high and tight. 3-0 now on Story with Nolan Arenado waiting on deck. He's hitting .350 on the year with a couple hits today. There's a 3-0. That's a strike.
3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike.
With a win today, Rockies would head into first place no matter... It doesn't matter what happens with the Dodgers or what already happened with the Dodgers and Padres. The loss, they would continue to be out, and the Padres would move ahead of them. The Dodgers would remain ahead of them. Nolan Arenado, 2 for 3, double, single, run scored. Trevor Story is on first base now with 1 out. Rockies trying to also avoid the sweep at the hand of the Brewers today. This is who you want up in this situation. Nolan Arenado represents the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 8th. He's at the dish right now. Trevor Story tying run on base. First pitch check swing. Arenado holds up. That's inside. Arenado has struggled in his career against Phelps, though, 1 for 12. There's a 1-0 delivery, and that's inside. 2-0.
No, that's a ball.
Everyone on their feet here at Coors Field trying to will Nolan Arenado to get a big hit. Trevor Story is driven back by a throw. From the set position, 2-0 is swung on and fouled off. 2-1 the count now on Nolan Arenado. Two-1 pitch now is swung on and chopped foul. Nolan swung on what probably would have been ball 3. Count evens at 2. Here's a 2-2, and it's swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. That's out number 2. And that will leave it up to Daniel Murphy. David Phelps, just one of those guys who has Nolan Arenado's number. And here is Daniel Murphy. 0 for 3 in this one, looking to get his first hit of the ball game in a big situation. First pitch, he's going to miss outside with a curveball. Struck out his last time up. That was just an inning ago, the 7th. Murphy did. It's part of his 0 for 3 day, hitting .302 on the year. And to keep that batting average above the 300 mark. Throw to first to drive back Story. If Story is going here, he better have a 100% shot of stealing that bag. 1-0 pitch is swung on and lined towards center field. Going back on this one is Kane. He'll get there to make the catch. And the Rockies are held off the board through 8 innings. Avisail Garcia, Justin Smoke, Orlando Arcia due up in the top of the 9th, 4-3 Milwaukee.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention
Jairo Diaz will pitch here in the top of the ninth. 11 innings on the year, 10 strikeouts, 8 walks. That's high. We have a .333 batting average to lefties, 136 to righties. 6 holds on the year. He will be trying to hold the lead where it is. Carlos Estevez and Scott Oberg up in the bullpen now. I think if there's a 10th inning and the Rockies come back to tie it, we'd see Oberg. There's a line drive. Foul down the left field line. 97 career home runs now for Avisail Garcia. He's hit 2 in this series, 1 led off the first game. It's been all Brewers in this series. He's 2 for 3 on the day as Garcia pitch outside from Diaz, 2-2. There's Estevez and Oberg. It's going to miss low hitters count now on Avisail Garcia. 4-3 Brewers. Rockies have had plenty of opportunities today, have not capitalized. Here's a 2-1. That's in there for a strike. Diaz just trying to keep this game where it's at. Giving the Rockies another opportunity in the bottom of the ninth. They have McMahon, Desmond, and Walters due up. McMahon already has a home run in the ninth inning in this game. There's a swing and a drive to deep right field, and that's going to extend the lead for the Brewers. 3rd home run of the year, 2nd home run of the day, 3rd home run also of this series for Avisail Garcia. Drives on to deep right center field, no doubt about that one, folks. Estimated distance 435 feet, 100.9 mile per hour exit velocity for Avisail Garcia. Opposite field, Jack. It's been a really good series for Avisail Garcia, left fielder for the Brewers. Got the day off yesterday. Got multi-hit games in the 2 games he has started this series. That'll bring up Justin Smoke. He's 0 for 3. He's struck out 3 times today. And first pitch misses outside of the 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Smoke is 0 for 7 in this series, so he was coming in relatively hot. Rockies have cooled him down. Just trying to keep the Brewers off the board further here in the ninth, give the Rockies a chance in the bottom half of the inning. There's a pitch low, 2-0.
That's the ball.
Pitch low, 3-0 now.
That's low.
Orlando Arcia waiting on deck. Rockies would drop to 3rd place. With a loss today, they'd be in 1st place with a win, with the Padres winning and Dodgers losing.
3 balls, no strike.
Rockies trying to avoid the sweep. They'll have to score at least a couple runs in the bottom of the ninth. Pitch,
Take your base. Ball
it's called a ball, and it's ball 4 to Justin Smoke. And a walk with nobody out here against Diaz in the top of the ninth. Take a look at where that one missed. And it does not appear as though it did to me, that 96-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball, but it is called a ball. Orlando Arcia will be the batter. 1 for 10 in this series, has an RBI ground out today, 0 for 3 in the game. Struck out in the 7th inning his last time up. Diaz could certainly use a double play right here. First pitch swung on and fouled out of play. It's been a really frustrating series for the Rockies. They have had a lot of opportunities, but have not been able to get things done. The swing and a line drive pulled foul quickly, 0-2 on Arcia. In the set position, Diaz looks over his shoulder, delivers an 0-2, and that's going to miss in the dirt. That'll get away from Walters. And advancing to second base will be Justin Smoke. He's in scoring position with nobody out now. Wild pitch for Diaz. One, two. Swung out in line, foul. We will do it again. 1-2. Outside slider. Count evens at 2. 5-3 Brewers here in the ninth. Diaz trying to hold them off the board further, give his team a chance on offense in the bottom of this inning. Way inside, full count. Pitcher spot is waiting on deck. This 3-2 is swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. That's out number 1 here in the top of the 9th. We'll see, we have Tyrone Taylor, Jed Jerko on the bench. Pitcher Manny Pena. Who else is there?
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for Milwaukee. Number 8, Ryan.
Oh yeah, Ryan Braun. Forgot about him. We haven't seen him play at all in this series. Bench bat these days for the Brewers. Sitting .238 on the year. Righty on righty matchup. Diaz delivers a strike. 97-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball. Braun really had an excellent end to his 2019 season after Christian Yelich went on the injured list with that September surgery. Ground ball up the middle into center field, a base hit. That's going to be kicked by Dahl, and that's going to potentially allow Smoke to score at will. Smoke is going to be held at third. Dahl overran it. Now it's 6-3 Milwaukee. Advancing up to second base is Braun. Will be a single and an error on Dahl. Man, that just can't happen.
Your attention, please.
Jake McGee is going to come in and try to finish off this inning. He's had a good start to his year. 13 innings, 12 strikeouts, 6 walks, 138 ERA. Some reverse splits, 286 average against lefties, 143 against righties. It's been pretty solid against both, though. Small sample, 15th game of the year for McGee. Face the top of the order for the Brewers. It's Lorenzo Cain, 1 for 4 in this ball game, has a double. Ryan Braun is on second base with 1 out. First pitch misses down and in with a slider. 1 for 4 double and a run scored for Lorenzo Cain in this game. He's got a .371 on base percentage to go along with his .284 average. 1-0 from McGee. It's taken for a strike with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. From the set position, McGee has come into this ball game. Braun is on second base with 1 out. McGee looks towards the second base bag and gets ready to deliver a 1-1 to Cain. It's swung on and pulled foul. Rockies were just down by a run coming into the 9th. Diaz giving up a couple runs, though partially due to an error by the center fielder Dahl. 6-3 Brewers. Rockies will have work to do on offense in the bottom of the 9th, even more so now. A swing and a line drive foul over the head of the third base umpire. McGee looks at second base from the stretch, gets ready to deliver a 1-2 pitch, and it's, man, a couple of the calls in this inning have really not helped the Rockies either. That one's called a ball, and the count evens at 2. There's a 2-2 from McGee, and it's swung on and fouled out of play. We'll do it again. It's at least a 7-pitch plate appearance to Lorenzo Cain. And a swing and a ground ball towards short. Story's going to have a long throw, and that will get the runner Cain for out number 2. Nice play by Story. That'll leave it up to Brock Holt. 1 for 3 base hit in the 5th inning. What a start to his career with Milwaukee. .363 average, .448 on base, and a .527 slugging percentage for Brock Holt. The rest of his career was all spent with the Boston Red Sox. Lefty-on-lefty matchup now for McGee. His first pitch to Holt is swung on and lined right to the glove of the shortstop Story. And McGee stops the bleeding. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Rockies will need 3 runs to tie. They have McMahon, Desmond, and Wolters due up. Josh Hader is in to close things out. .525 ERA, 12 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 9 walks. So he's struggled a little bit. .286 average against righties. He's really handled lefties, though. The lefty has. We'll face Ryan McMahon to lead things off. McMahon homered off of Hader in the first game of this series. He's 1 for 2 with a double. He's also walked and scored a couple runs in this ball game, has McMahon. Rockies down by 3 runs now. They're only down by a run.
That's in, ball.
When things got off to a start of the 9th inning, first pitch misses off the plate. Hader pitched a quick 1-2-3 inning yesterday, getting the bottom of the Rockies' order. He will once again face that section of the order today, and that's going to be a strike. Rockies trying to avoid the sweep. 1-1 pitch is going to miss high and outside. Hitters count now on Ryan McMahon. Rockies have dropped to third place with a loss today after the Padres won, Dodgers lost. Would have been an opportunity for the Rockies to get themselves in sole possession of first place with a win today. Swung on and lifted in the air towards deep right field, hooking down the line, and that ball is gone. Home run for Ryan McMahon, his second of the series off of Josh Hader, 9th of the year. 2 home runs in that first game of the series, so he's got 3 home runs against the Brewers on this homestand. 428 feet off the bat, 99.1 mile per hour exit velocity. Hopefully, this is another one of those games where Hader doesn't have it. Only question was fair or foul on this jack off the bat of McMahon. And he hooked it fair, just inside the foul or fair pole, if you prefer. Rockies not out of it yet. 6-4 ball game. Ian Desmond will be the batter. He really likes facing lefties. First pitch is taken for a strike with a 2-seam fastball. Desmond 1 for 2, got a base hit back in the 5th inning. Also was hit by a pitch. A .289 on base percentage, a .588 OPS. Desmond, never really know what you're going to get, to be quite frank, with what we've seen from him this year. Just when it seems like he's been slumping, he's gotten a hit. Swing and a miss quickly. 0-2 on Desmond. That slider is by him. Some clutch hits in this series for Ryan McMahon, but he has not been able to do it all by himself. Comes an 0-2 from Hader, and that one's taken high and tight with a 97-mile-an-hour 4-seam fastball. 6-4 Brewers, nobody out for the Rockies here in the bottom of the 9th. Imagine if Diaz was able to hold a couple more runs off the board in the top of the 9th. Check swing and a pitch down and in with a slider. Count evens at 2 on Desmond. That would have been a game-tying home run for McMahon but that's not how things turned out. 2-2 pitch coming to Desmond, and it's swung on and yanked in the air towards left. It'll go foul and towards the seats. Desmond stays alive. Still nobody out for the Rockies here in the bottom of the 9th. Off Josh Hader, who hasn't looked quite like the Josh Hader that we've come to know. Ground ball foul off the bat of Desmond. He'll stay alive. Desmond has really been working some long plate appearances at times this year. 2-2 coming. And that's inside. Full count now. Tony Wolters waiting on deck. Had a big walk just a couple innings ago to get the Rockies a little bit closer. 3-2 coming from Hader is swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. That's out number 1. We'll bring up Tony Wolters, and we'll likely have a pinch hitter. Tough lefty-on-lefty matchup for Tony Wolters. He's 0 for 2 in this game, does have a walk. First pitch misses outside with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. 6-4 Brewers trying to sweep the Rockies on a Sunday afternoon. White Sox will come to town Tuesday and Wednesday. Pitch inside, 2-0 now. And this 2-0. It's going to miss high. 3-0 now on Tony Wolters. Pitcher's spot waiting on deck. Hilliard, Hampson, Elias Diaz, and Chris Owings on deck. Are on the bench, rather. I think you're allowed to have 4 men on deck. 3-0 now on Tony Wolters. Lefty-on-lefty matchup. Struggling with command at times this year is Hader. Here's a 3-0. That's going to be in there for a strike. To his windup, the 3-1 pitch is swung on and grounded weakly towards second base. Hira up with the ball, throws to first. And that is out number 2. Rockies down to their final out. We'll have a pinch hitter coming up. And Elias Diaz will be tasked with getting this plate appearance. Interesting choice. The backup catcher. Hitting .316 on the year. He hits lefties well. First pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. The 0-1 is going to miss down and in with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. 6-4 Brewers, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. And out away from sweeping the Rockies are the Milwaukee Brewers. Maintain that first place position among the NL Central. Swinging a pop foul. It's going to go over the screen. 1-2. Rockies now down to their final strike. Man leading off this bottom of the 9th with a home run. Not enough. This 1-2 is swung on and missed to get him on strikes. That's your ball game. Brewers sweep the Rockies in this 3-game series at Coors Field. Day off tomorrow, then the White Sox are going to come in for 2 games, and then we'll have another day off Thursday before another road trip for the Rockies. We'll go to see the Philadelphia Phillies and Tigers on that road trip. Bright spots. Ryan McMahon had a very good series. Nolan Arenado was solid as well. Charlie Blackmon homered yesterday. Tyler Kinley had a couple good bullpen appearances. Starting pitching was a little bit rough at times. No one really went very many innings. Adrian Hauser gets his first win of the season. He's 1-1. John Gray with the loss is 2-4. Josh Hader picks up his 6th save of the year. The totals: Brewers get 6 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Colorado, 4 runs on 6 hits and 1 error by the center fielder David Dahl. Player of the game is going to be Avisail Garcia, who had 2 home runs today, also a double. 2 runs scored. Christian Yelich goes 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBI. Lorenzo Cain 1 for 5 with a double. Brock Holt 1 for 4, also drew a walk. Adrian Hauser with the win is 6 innings, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks, 1 run. John Gray in 5 2/3 innings allows 4 runs on 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, and the save for Josh Hader gives up that 1 run on the solo home run by Ryan McMahon. There's 1 inning of work, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. On offense, 2 for 3 day for Ryan McMahon, home run, double, and a walk, 3 runs scored. Nolan Arenado goes 2 for 4 with a double. Charlie Blackmon a double as well. RBI for Tony Wolters, and he walked with the bases loaded. Also drove in a run, kind of. Doesn't get the RBI for it, but when he grounded it to a double play. Rough series for the Rockies. They are now 3rd place in the National League West, though they are still within a game of the Dodgers and Padres. Padres winning today, Dodgers losing. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Ben Kuchner-Kavich. I want to let you know this broadcast is not affiliated with the Major League Baseball, the Colorado Rockies, or MLB The Show 20. We will hope for better results from the Chicago White Sox as some interleague play comes to town on Tuesday and Wednesday. Hope you can tune in for that one. This has been Ben Kuchner-Kavich. We'll see you Tuesday.